Ajay Singhania is with us, MD and CEO of Epack Durable. Ajay, great to have you on the show, and thank you so much for speaking with us. So we have seen the view on what Voltas has said, Blue Star has said, and this is clearly across the industry, but want to get your point of view on this. What is the kind of pain that we're seeing because of these early monsoons? Can you quantify it for us?
So I'll not call it exactly a pain the industry is facing. I mean, it's more of a phenomena like every 5-6 years we see when the expectations rise really high basis the performance what we achieved last year. So it's more of an expectation, but industry is not that bad. I mean, currently there has been some recovery in June. So obviously, like everybody else was mentioning, both Blue Star, Voltas in the earlier interviews you have shown. So the industry is on the verge to close Q1 at a degrowth compared to last year. The degrowth could be anywhere between 15 to 20%. Overall, the year currently looks like will grow, could be flattish or a growth of max 10% is what seems on the card as of now for the financial year 25-26. But overall, the tailwinds are still really strong. I mean, the industry, AC industry per se, I mean, is definitely has been on a growth path, and there's a long way to go. So, I mean, the story is not over. I mean, it's just the beginning of AC penetration. So, we will see it continuing over next several years.
Ajay, good morning, Neeraj here. Sure, the story is not over. It is a long-term story, but the near term, I heard you say that there could be a degrowth, and at the same time, I heard you say that you could probably grow 10%. So I was just a bit confused. So is the degrowth for Q1, but overall you expect a 10% growth for the year?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Q1 definitely because of unseasonal rain, especially April and May being kind of a washout in certain parts, pockets like especially South didn't perform well, then West obviously didn't fetch well for May. So overall North has been comparatively better as compared to last year. So there is some respite in June because of the heat waves in North. So overall Q1 is a degrowth anywhere between 15 to 20% for the industry. But the entire year it seems we are still on track to achieve a growth of anywhere between up to 10%.
Yeah, the reason why this is a bit, and I'm not saying it's an alarming situation, but the larger opinion was that both Q1 and Q2, for most of India Inc. consumer-facing businesses, there will be good growth because the base was very low, right? Last year, elections, unseasonal rains, all of that. On that base, if you're degrowing in Q1, is Q2 going to make up substantially? Because a 10% growth per se is not too much, simply because the volumes, at least in first 2 quarters, was probably not very high.
So here in especially for AC, the cooling industry, if we see last year FY25, there was approximately 70% growth in Q1.
Okay.
Compared to the previous year.
Okay, so, I stand corrected.
Already put on a very high base.
Okay, I stand corrected. Okay. The other question therefore would be, do you expect momentum to recoup in Q2? I'm presuming you are the supplier to these guys. Are the demand signs coming through now that the weak season because of unseasonal rains is behind you, or is it still lukewarm?
So, since BT and Saab was sharing on the previous interview, Q1 being sluggish and some spillover of inventory already in the trade, Q2 will also be impacted partially, and the pickup will start only from Q3 because there is an upgrade happening in the AC industry. So the star ratings or the performance is going to go one notch up beginning of January. So since the production starts somewhere in September, October, so the full momentum in the production will begin from September, October onwards. So we'll have the spillover of inventory will have definitely some impact in Q2 as well.
Just trying to understand what are the kind of inventory levels that we're seeing right now, Ajay, because another point in our conversation with Mr. Tyagarajan that's coming out from Voltas' analyst call is that as inventory levels are building up, they are looking at maybe cutting production. So number one, what are the inventory levels at this point? Have they fallen dramatically, and if so, is it below 25%? And number two, are you now seeing production cuts roll out?
So two things here. In terms of inventory, the correction or the slowdown in the production already happened from the beginning of or the end of May itself. So the corrective steps in further production kicked in from the end of May itself. So June, there hasn't been substantial production as compared to the projections we already had earlier. So there was an estimated inventory of close to 3 million in trade. So AC is a 15 million odd market last year. So there was 3 million kind of inventory in trade plus almost 2 million with the brands itself. So there was roughly 33% of inventory in trade beginning of June. liquidation has happened in June because of the heat wave in North. So end of June, I expect inventory would will largely stand corrected since not substantial production has happened in June itself. So July onwards, it seems that we will be on track to liquidate most of the inventory and gear up for the new rated products from August onwards.
Okay, so hopefully the festive season brings in cheer because the inventory would be lower and maybe demand could be higher as well. Okay, keep an eye out for that. There were some reports, Mr. Singhania, speculating that there's some show cause notices sent to copper importers, which included AC makers as well. Anything that you've heard with regards to this? Have you, I don't know if you received it or whatever, but there's a lot of talk going around.
Yeah. So definitely. So as a country, India doesn't manufacture a lot of copper. I mean, especially there's copper called inner groove tubes and the tubes which go inside an AC. Those are not currently manufactured in the country, and we are a net importer. In that we have an FTA with Asian countries, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam. So since 2013, the industry has been importing at a zero duty all these coppers from all these Asian countries. Now there has been a show cause notice sent to almost 2,000 plus importers, which includes almost everybody in the trade, all the brands, all the manufacturers of air conditioners, refrigerators, and traders. So everybody has received a show cause notice. So the department has been asking us to justify the validation norms as per the FTA agreement, which as an individual importer, nobody I think has the capability to go to a third country and get it validated. So we believe as an industry, we believe it's more of a government stand to, it's a government to government kind of a transaction, wherein the country of origin certificate is issued by the Asian, by the country. So everybody has received the notice, and we are trying to take a stand together as an industry here.
Okay, so what's the resolution here, sir? I mean, do you reckon that I heard you say that it's a government to government thing. So does the government come back and do something, or what's the impact? Assuming that this doesn't get resolved at the government to government end, what's the impact for a player like you, for example?
Yeah, so there is a 7.5% duty applicable on imports, which under the FTA we have not been paying. And since currently there are no manufacturers available, and the BIS is given only to a select few manufacturers in the Asian countries only, so we are currently, everybody is importing it from those suppliers, and we are paying a bank guarantee of 7.5%. So that, and since last almost 18 months, the bank guarantees have been applicable, and everybody has been paying those bank guarantees. So, I mean, we have been pushing the departments to at least finalize whether a duty is applicable or not applicable. A final conclusion has to be done. And then, I mean, we don't mind if the duty is applicable to everybody, it's applicable.
Got it. But, Mr. Singhania, completely agree. I'm not saying you are the one singled out, but my limited question therefore was that we hope it gets resolved, right? Because there is an industry-wide stand that you've taken. If it, in the event that it doesn't, is there a financial hit to the numbers on Epack, if not at the operational level, then at the PAT level in the current year FY26 because of this?
See, I mean, if the duty is applicable, everybody pays it.
So yes, of course. But for you,
the impact on it is probably thousands of crores.
Okay, but for you, how much could the impact be, sir?
So individually, I'll need to probably get it calculated. But currently, as an industry, India is importing close to 2 lakh tons, and 7.5% duty on it probably stands at a few thousand crores.
Okay.
On an yearly basis. And everybody has been doing it for past several years, I mean 10, 12 years.
Okay, fair call, fair call. No, just trying to get that sense going. And lovely, thanks for being so candid about everything. I wish you all the best. Hopefully, the degrowth is done and the growth starts from Q2 onwards, Mr. Singhania. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
I just wanted to add a couple of things here. I mean, just not the AC. If we're talking about Epack here, we have maintained that we are looking at a 35% plus kind of a growth on an annualized basis. So this comes not only from AC, but from all the diversification efforts we have done over the last several years. So the other aspects of business for us, the small domestic appliances, the large appliances like washing machines, coolers, and the component business which we have scaled up. So all this are definitely witnessing a lot of growth. And like you mentioned, the good monsoon definitely leads to a better festive season. So for us, the small appliances and the washing machines, and those are bigger bets for us, wherein we are looking to scale up substantially.
Just the other side of it, if there's a heavy monsoon, then you need dryers along with those washing machines. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for speaking with us.